Hey, how's it going everyone? So in this video, it was from another live stream. I'm drawing a wolf person, for lack of a better term. He is the sworn enemy of the sheeple, who are the three little sheep people on the left side of the screen there. It's been a while since I've drawn them, and I've had a friend that really liked them. And then I also had a viewer who suggested I draw something in that universe, so I went ahead and did that. Alright, so for this video I wanted to talk about Project Gemini. And if you're not familiar with Project Gemini, it seems to be Adobe's response to Procreate. And Procreate is a drawing app on the iPad and your iPhone, and it's gotten a lot of traction because a lot of professionals are switching over to it or using it in conjunction with Photoshop. And they're making some pretty awesome work. And if you're like me, Procreate's not working out for you because it just doesn't feel right. The brush engine's different from Photoshop and you can't seem to adjust to it. So I was excited for Photoshop to come to iPad. And then I found out that Project Gemini is an app for the iPad. So originally I thought Project Gemini was going to be a new program for the desktop. But I guess I was wrong. But yeah, so now looking at it, I'm thinking, so should I get Gemini or Photoshop on my iPad? And hopefully both of them are part of the Creative Cloud subscription. You know, if you're paying for a Creative Cloud, you're paying a lot of money every year just to have those apps. And I would hope that Gemini and Photoshop for iPad would be part of that subscription. But if it's a separate subscription, that would suck and a lot of people would be angry, and there's already a lot of angry people with Adobe's subscription fees and whatnot. Anyways, so my thoughts on Gemini. So I was looking at the video where they're showcasing it. They had Kyle, the guy that makes all the Photoshop brushes, showcasing and just going over all the features. And I was kind of looking at it, and I was thinking to myself that a lot of those features can just be added to Photoshop. They can either be plugins or they can just, put it in the next update or whatever. Because, one, you get to use all your Photoshop brushes, which is nice, but I can do that in the Photoshop for iPad. So that's nothing to be raving about, I guess. And then they added these two features, and one of them is a vector brush and the other one is live brushes. So vector brush, that's nice. A lot of people have been wanting that in Photoshop, and it'd be cool to make some clean line work if you're, into drawing comics and cartoons and whatever. But that feels like something that can be added to Photoshop without having to make a brand new program. And then the live brushes, while they're really cool and they seem fun to play with, I feel like a lot of professionals working in the game industry and the animation industry might not use them as much. Maybe for personal work, but I don't see it being used for concept work. But who knows? I could be wrong. There's new stuff coming out all the time. But same thing with the live brushes. When they made it so that you can adjust the thickness of your oil paint, digital oil paint. And you can add water to your watercolors and, play around with digital watercolors. And while that's really cool and that's an awesome feature that I might play with a lot, that again feels like something you can just put into Photoshop. And those were their big selling points. Like the other selling points were that you can adjust your workspace, you can put it away, you can do full screen without having any tools in the way and stuff. And yeah, that's kind of an upgrade from using other apps on the iPad, but that's nothing big, nothing that would sell me. Yeah, I might use it because I prefer Adobe's Photoshop over Procreate, and I would imagine Gemini is gonna feel pretty similar. But again, it just feels like they could have just added these things to Photoshop, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these are things that aren't programmable in what they have already for Photoshop, and it would just be a complicated mess. But I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. Hopefully I'm wrong and it's something that's gonna be really, really nice to play with and really great for doing some personal or professional work. But what are your thoughts? Are you in the same boat as me where you think it could have just been a plugin or it could have been in the next update? Or do you think these are things that need to be in a new program? I've already talked to a couple people and they are in the same boat as me, but I don't know. I've seen a lot of beta testers raving about Gemini, and if it's really that great, then cool. But also, I just feel like Gemini has a lot of the same features that Photoshop does. So if you're fine with Photoshop being the main program that you use for your digital art, then you're probably going to stick with Photoshop, unless you plan on using the vector and the live brushes, which personally, I don't think I absolutely need them, but I think they would be fun to play with. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get Gemini just because it has those features, and if it's going to be pretty much the same program as Photoshop, I might as well have the extra features. But we'll see. I'll definitely try both Photoshop and Gemini on the iPad when they come out, whenever that's going to be. There's no set date for either of them yet. So, okay, yeah, I'll be here waiting. In the meantime, catch me streaming some art on twitch.tv/JesseEffendi and subscribe here for more of me rambling over my drawing videos. And cool. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.